So this is the second bathroom in our house, or as we call it, the kids' bathroom. You bring the camera in here. So it's kind of a small room, like most bathrooms are, so I'm stuck using the action cam. Let's see if I can get that on screen. Not much I can do about that. Now, we haven't done anything to this room since we bought the house like 18 years ago, and we were beginning to think, you know, it's time for a refresh. Not a makeover, just a refresh. You know, at first we thought, let's paint it. However, you know, as things like that happen, once you start thinking about it, you start thinking, well, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, and so it's kind of spiraling. Hopefully it's not going to spiral out of control, but in this video, I'm going to focus on the tub. This house was built in 1984, and for whatever reason, they put in a brown, coffee cream sort of tub. I know it could have been worse, could have been pink, could have been olive, but either way we hate it. But I am frankly not interested in replacing it because that involves tearing out walls, tearing out that. It's just not going to happen. So other than the color, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's a solid steel tub, it's great. So instead of replacing this, I'm going to paint it. And I'm going to paint the tiles too. I've done some reading online. I found this kit is from Rust-Oleum. No, they're not a sponsor. I've seen a few videos. It's a two-part epoxy. It's going to stink like the dickens, but from what I've seen online, it works pretty good. I know it's not going to be as good as brand new, but if I can get 3 to 5 years out of it, I'll be pretty happy. This is the tub paint kit that I bought at the big box store. This one's white. Lots of instructions. There's lots of videos online that seem to cover this one. The lady in the paint section also recommended I pick this etching cream up. It's supposed to help take off the glaze because you sort of scuff the surface so that you can get a good grip with the paint. And boy, my voice is echoing like crazy in this room. This is one time when I think I better take the time to read the instructions. So I'm going to stop the camera and go sit down. You know, the preparation might be the worst part of this job. 1, 2. There's just no flattering camera angles in a room like this. I almost forgot. I gotta clean the outside bottom too, because that's gonna get painted also. I'm focusing on the inside. Okay. So given that I have the etching cream, I shouldn't need to use sandpaper. But my friend John Heiss said that when he did it, he used sandpaper, and he really recommended using sandpaper, and it shouldn't be that big a deal to go over it. Okay, that was miserable. Removing caulking, wow, was that a pain in the butt. So I started with 400, which didn't seem to do anything, so I quickly switched to 240. The instructions say 220. I'd gotten mixed up because I watched a bunch of videos and some of them give conflicting advice, but the sanding really didn't seem to do much. I mean, from the sandpaper, you could, I don't know if you can see that, it was building up something, but the tile, really I couldn't tell that anything was happening. On the tub, it definitely seemed to get a little bit dull. So I quickly moved on to using the acid etch cream. And I have no video of that because it got kind of tense because, well, it's like, I'll put in a little clip here. I mean, it looks sort of like a cross between yogurt and jam. It's really thick. And so applying it was fine, but then the time came to remove it. You know, you wait 4 minutes, then you remove it. And this stuff was so thick that, you know, it just clogged up my cloth. So I'd wipe and rinse and rinse and wipe and rinse and wipe and rinse, and it just, like, it took me an hour to do the whole thing. It was really kind of unpleasant, but it seemed to really do the job. Let me move the camera here. And the tub, you can definitely see that the tub is etched and has lost the glaze. The wall's got a really busy pattern, so it's really hard to tell. I'm going by the tub, and I'm assuming that the wall is fine too. So it's time to move on to taping, wiping down with the tack cloth, and then let's get on with the painting. So this paint is a two-part epoxy. It stinks like the dickens is what I'm told, so I'll be putting on a full respirator. So I don't think there's going to be any more narration at this point. It's time to just get down to painting. So it's now day 2 of what should be a one-day paint job, and here's why. So there are 2 main problems. Number 1, I ran out of paint. That tub has had 1 coat. This kit claims that you can cover 100 square feet, 2 coats. I measured. The walls here add up to around 68 square feet, and that includes the front edge down below. If that leaves you like 30 square feet for the tub, and I did the best I could there, and I'm right around the 100 square feet, and yet there was not enough paint to cover 100 square feet, 2 coats. And then the other thing is the kit also says that really 2 coats is all you really should need. There are 2 coats here on this wall, and it's just not enough. Well, you saw the before pictures. This was not a dark tile. This was white mottled with brown and very light coffee cream sort of brown. And so yeah, we've had to go out and buy another kit, and I will be doing more painting tonight. I will be putting a 3rd coat on the wall, and I will be putting 2 more coats on the tub. And I'm not going to film any of that because, frankly, this is a real chore and I just want to get it done. For the second round of painting, I switched to using a roller, and that went a lot better. Now, I'd seen people using rollers in the video, so why wasn't I using rollers in the first place? Well, the kit that I had specifically recommended against using rollers. In fact, they recommended spraying or brushing, and I'm not confident in my spraying ability, so I stuck to brushing. But the paint was so thin, it was like painting with milk. I worked in small sections, I went back over it to brush it out, but there were still a lot of runs. The roller worked much better, I think. If possible, try spraying. I added 2 more coats, so in total I got 4 coats on the wall and 3.5 coats on the tub. The top edge got 4 coats, the rest of the tub got 3. And in my opinion, it is barely passable, but I'm done. I am not buying any more kits. So the scent from this paint is really strong, and it just was not dissipating. Now this is a windowless bathroom, and I had the exhaust fan going for like 48 hours, and the scent was just not clearing. So what I did is I got a 3/4 sheet of OSB, and I put that here across the corner of the hallway, and that kind of joined the bathroom door with this bedroom door. And then I put a fan in the bathroom blowing out of the bathroom, and I put a fan in the bedroom window blowing out, and I left that running for a day, and that finally took care of about 80–90%, but that was like 3 days later almost. And so if you do this, just be prepared for the stench. So the dry time also took way longer than expected. The instructions say it should be dry in 36 hours, and that in 3 days you can start using it, you can get it wet. Well, I left it longer because, you know, small room, it's not very well ventilated, and it was still just feeling just a little tacky. But still, after 3 days, it felt dry, and I'm sitting here, and I'm putting the tap back on and the spout back in place, and when I get up, and I look, and there was blue fibers that had been ripped out of my jeans and were stuck in the side of the paint. Now, I washed it off. It came off okay, but it had felt dry and hard when I sat down. So I wasn't gonna mess around, and I left it for like 10 days before I even finally came around and added the caulking to the corner. And yeah, I was quite shocked at how long it really took to really harden up. So are we happy with this? Well, no, not really. It looks good from over there in the doorway. It's just when you get up close that you see all the runs and the drips and the unevenness. I was expecting better. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be perfect going into it, but I was expecting better than I got. The coverage was not there. I mean, first of all, it didn't cover 100 square feet like they said it would. Second of all, one kit's nowhere near enough. I mean, if you're going to do this, buy at least 2 kits right away, maybe even 3. The costs are more than I was expecting because, again, I had to buy 2 kits. So actually, let's do that for a minute. Here, the kit was $52. I needed 2 kits, so there's $100. The etching cream was $30. I needed a new organic vapor respirator. That's another $50, and some other supplies. So I'm into this for about $200. So the runs, the uneven coverage, and the scent took a lot longer. Took a lot longer to dry than I was expecting. So are we happy with this? No. Are we tolerating it? Yeah. Are we okay with it? Almost. Did these kids never clean this place?